UK weather. Storm Babet batters large parts of country. As third person confirmed dead. A rare red weather alert issued by the Met Office warning of a danger to life from fast-flowing or deep floodwater has been extended until midnight on Saturday, and there are fears people who have had to flee their homes may not be able to re-enter until after Christmas. A third person has died. A storm Babet batters large parts of the UK. West Mercia Police said the man, aged in his 60s, got caught in fast-flowing floodwater in the town of Cleobury Mortimer, Shropshire. Members of the public alerted officers after spotting him going under the water shortly before 10:40 a.m. on Friday. His body was found around 2 hours later. Formal identification has yet to take place, but the man's family have been informed. It comes after 2 people were reported to have died in Scotland on Thursday. Police Scotland confirmed a 56-year-old driver had been killed after a tree struck a van on the B9 127 near Forfar at around 5:05 p.m. A 57-year-old woman also died after she was swept into the water of Lee, a river in the eastern area of Angus. Elsewhere in the UK, a passenger plane skidded off the runway at Leeds Bradford Airport amid severe conditions in Yorkshire on Friday afternoon. The incident happened as the TUO flight from Corfu came into land. There were no reports of any injuries. The Energy Networks Association said more than 55,000 properties were hit by power cuts in England alone. It said the majority had since been reconnected, but 10,000 customers were still without electricity on Friday. Check what the weather forecast is in your area. Weather warnings are in place across much of Britain. A rare red weather alert issued by the Met Office, warning of a danger to life from fast-flowing or deep floodwater in parts of Scotland, was extended until midnight on Saturday. It now covers the Grampian and Central, Tayside and Fife regions. It had already been expanded to include Dundee, Perth and Kinross, as well as Angus and Aberdeenshire, where 20-feet waves have been spotted on the coastline. Meanwhile, a major search was underway following reports of a man trapped in a vehicle in floodwater. Police Scotland said the alarm was raised at 3 a.m. on Friday, near the village of Marikirk in Aberdeenshire. As England, Wales and Northern Ireland faced warnings about heavy rain, Scotland has continued to bear the brunt. The Scottish Fire and Rescue Service said it had received about 750 emergency 999 calls since Thursday morning, a figure it described as unusually high. Its crews have also attended around 70 weather-related incidents. The town of Brechin has been the hardest hit, and there are fears people who have had to flee their homes due to flooding may not be able to re-enter until after Christmas. The Met Office said some communities could be cut off for several days, at least by severe flooding, while the British Geological Survey has warned the storm could also cause landslides in Scotland. The Scottish Environment Protection Agency SEPA has 5 severe flood warnings, 12 flood alerts and 17 flood warnings in place, with the threat of unprecedented levels of rainfall on the northeast of Scotland. It has warned rivers could rise by as much as 5 metres, in what has been described as an extraordinary weather event. Officials ordered the evacuation of 400 homes in and around the town of Brechin, where flood defences were breached. It said schools would be shut on Friday to ensure the safety of children, young people, parents, and school staff. The authority confirmed more than 75 people were sheltering in rescue centres after being forced to leave their flooded homes, It said residents of more than 60 homes in Brecon, who refused previous evacuation attempts, had required rescue. Scottish and Southern Electricity Network said almost 35,000 of its customers were hit by power cuts. Officials said most were reconnected by 8:45 p.m, except for 2,800 customers who were still without electricity on Friday night. Train operator ScotRail has warned disruption to services could last until Sunday. More disruption is expected elsewhere across the UK, with amber warnings for wind and rain issued for parts of northern England, the Midlands and northern Wales until 6 a.m. on Saturday. The Environment Agency issued more than 270 flood warnings in England, in areas where flooding is expected, and 240 to flood alerts, where flooding is possible. The Met Office said yellow and amber wind warnings have been issued for eastern parts of Scotland and along the east coast of England until the weekend. Gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour were likely on Friday, with particularly poor conditions on immediate coastlines, with large waves adding to the list of hazards in the northeast of England. South Shields Lighthouse lost its dome in the storm as huge waves battered the structure. The Port of Tyne Authority said, with the ongoing dangerous sea conditions, it was not safe to assess the damage to the lighthouse. People have been urged to steer clear of the area, particularly the piers. Flooding has also blocked several rail lines across northern England, the Midlands and North Wales. Network Rail warned disruption was likely to continue on Saturday. West Midlands Fire Service urged people not to drive through floodwater after a motorist had a lucky escape when his car was dragged 30 metres down a fast-flowing river in Northfield, Birmingham. Suffolk County Council also declared a major incident on Friday afternoon due to dangerous driving conditions and flooding across the county. John Lacey, Chief Fire Officer for Suffolk, urged residents not to travel unless absolutely necessary. The village of Debenham in the county was cut off by flooding, forcing dozens of people to seek shelter in a local leisure centre. A championship football match between Rotherham United and Ipswich Town, scheduled to take place on Friday evening, was called off just hours before kick-off due to concerns over floodwaters near the home team's stadium. 6 Scottish football games for this weekend have also been postponed.